Hi everybody, I'm outside because I want to pick some tulips and I had to show them off because they are so tall. They are so tall, it's unbelievable. Look at this. Like, the stems are so tall, just throw that down there for now and get it later. But you can see me standing here. Look at them, they're so beautiful. And you know, I have to pick a few for in the house. And this one's kind of leaning. And there's another one leaning. And, and there's another one leaning. Probably they've been hit by the hose. So I'll just pick 4 and I'll clean them up and put them in a vase. And it's about 40 degrees out here right now on this side. And it'll warm up to in the 70s today. We've had a couple days of rain, and we're going to go inside and I have to show you a beautiful gift I got from a subscriber. And I also want to show you watering day and information on glass vases. So I have to move in and we'll be back with you shortly. It's so beautiful. Hi everybody. I got my tulips in a vase. I have to put something else in with them, which I'll do later. But they're just so beautiful. I had to cut a whole bunch off, but I'm going to sit them aside for now. And I want to share a beautiful gift I received in the mail from Lisa, a subscriber in Tennessee. And it was so thoughtful because you know how I say I can't find any MSU fertilizer. And I can't here. I have trouble finding good fertilizer. And so I was out of my MSU, and the orchid place in Ontario where I was ordering from, they went out of business. So I didn't know what I was going to do. Well, she helped me make that decision. She sent me a very nice container of Feed Me, Repot Me orchid fertilizer. And it's watering day today, so it came in the mail yesterday, but I didn't open it in front of you because we had it was delivered by UPS brokerage because we now have different rules going on at the border. And this is from the Canadian. Now, Lisa sent this free of charge in the mail from the United States. A beautiful gift for me. But Canadian customs, they are penalizing us if we shop from the States. And I think some things, maybe if you buy from a certain place that you've already paid, I don't know. But this is what happened to this one. So there was, before he was a UPS driver collect this amount. So he said this was the customs duty because I said, is this because of these tariffs they're doing? And he said, yes. And so he said, you do not get this gift unless you pay $47.23. And there's the paper, actually. And all the reasons why. And I says, well, you know, I said, what happens if I don't pay it? It goes back to them and they will pay it. I don't know. There's new things happening. But I thought, you know, I would probably pay that amount for orchid fertilizer if I could find it. So I thought, I'm going to get it. And it was a beautiful gift. But you know what? I am thankful because it's helped me get some very good orchid fertilizer, because we know that Repot Me has good stuff. Now, I'm needing some bark, and that's one reason people often say, well, you can get it here and you can get it there. But by the time we get it, what have they done to it? Especially now. So I will be going down to Buckerfields where I get my bark, and I will be ordering some probably this week or next week, because my bag is almost empty. And I'm going to see what's going on with that, because I was getting a huge bag for a reasonable price. So anyway, I want to thank Lisa, but I just want to tell everybody, please do not send me any gifts if you're in the USA coming this way, because until things settle down at the customs in Canada customs, everything's changing. So we're supposed to buy here. I don't know why, what is going on. And that's why I grow orchids, and I don't get into politics. So I am not going to get into politics. And I'm going to show you my orchid watering day with my new fertilizer. And I want to also talk about the glass vases. Like, as you know, I started about a year ago with one of my orchids that's still in the window. I haven't brought it out. It was the first one, and all the rest have been done late last fall or this spring, or some of them I was just starting last summer when I put them outside, which is usually I put them out on the patio in late May or early June. And I had started putting some of these smaller ones, which I'm going to show you first. And they spent last summer out on the patio in their vases. I want to tell you what I've learned, what I've changed, and why I'm continuing with the glass vases. So first we got to get some fertilizer in the water. I have, this sink holds about 4 gallons of water. And I also have a pitcher here that holds 3 liters. So about a gallon. That's how I usually do it. Oh, I have to take this off now that I'm in. Getting too warm. Anyway, so on the label it says perfect for orchids, succulents, African violets, cacti. I have all those things except the African violets. I have one. Mix 1 teaspoon of Feed Me per gallon of water during spring and summer, and reduce to 3/4 of a teaspoon per gallon of water in the fall and winter. Well, if this is 4 gallons and I use 4 teaspoons, I won't do it, because number 1, this will go too fast, and number 2, my watering schedule, which I have here, I always keep it under a magnet on my fridge, and I am on week 3, and so I'm going to be using fertilizer today, week 2 and 3. Now, I always say add the water in the sink first, and my sink holds 4 to 5 gallons, so I add 1 teaspoon. Because I've always used 1/4 of what they recommend, no matter what fertilizer I use. It's what I do, and that's how it is. So, 1/4 of a teaspoon, a gallon in 4 gallons of water means I use 1 teaspoon in the sink. This is what I always do, and it goes for my calcium, magnesium, my seaweed extract, all the stuff that I use on my watering schedule. This is how anything that gets measured, this is how I do it. And then I have a plastic cup. And I always start out with a bit of hot water in here so that everything dissolves. It's not real hot, but it's hot enough that I can make sure everything dissolves. So I'm going to take 1 teaspoon and put it in it's kind of a heaping teaspoon. Put it in here. We'll see how I hope it dissolves easy. So, there's some white hard granules that aren't dissolving, but the rest is starting to go now. Yeah, there we go. I gave them a little squish with the spoon. Because you have to make sure when you put fertilizer in that it dissolves. If you want it to spread through all the water and not end up just maybe in one pot. So then I will pour that in there. And I will get a little bit more water for my gallon watering can. And I have a 1/4 teaspoon. I always use these measuring teaspoons. So then I'm going to put the lid on because I seem to be spilling things lately. Okay, now we're going to put that over there out of the way. And there's just a few. And if anybody is using this, let me know how you're watering it. With it and what you found out and how you go about getting rid of the little hard ones. I'm using my spoon until they're completely smushed and dissolved in the water. So now this one here is going in here. There. Let me know if you're using the full amount or the less, but you know, I read lots of stuff years ago, and I've been doing this for years, and I always use a 1/4 less of fertilizer than they say. So I'm going to show you how I water a few, and they're probably going to be excited to get something so nice. So first I'm going to look at, this is Sogo Relax. So what I do is I set it in the water and I use my measuring cup and I pour water through. Now, it's not going to absorb all the water right away, and because the holes are in the pot, it will drain down to the level of the water. So you have to give it a few minutes. So what I usually do is I let one sit there like that, and let it absorb the first layer I poured through. And while that one's sitting there, I gotta get another one. And you know, when I took this one off the windowsill, these two are in my north window. Since I got them, I've kept them in. They love the north window. And I want to do a close-up of the roots in these ones too. They're beautiful, but it smells beautiful. It has a lovely scent. And it's Fel GC Young Lava. I remember it outside last year, and I keep it, or it's always just only getting sun from the east in the morning, and we have a shade cloth over the whole solarium out there, one that was for our gazebo, and we put it up on the roof because we don't, not the gazebo, the greenhouse, and we put it up on the roof because we needed something to shade them. So, because there's a lot of sun all summer, and it's been perfect for them. So then I put this one in here, and I do the same. And I end up getting, oh, it smells beautiful. This is, I never noticed that before, but this morning when I took it down, I thought, wow. And then when I finish watering these first few, I'm going to show you a close-up of them. And what I'm going to do is finish my watering so it won't take me all day. And then I'm going to leave some out that I want to show you that I found since this beginning of the video. So I'm going to be stopping and starting a few times. And of course this one is Georgia Pearl, but H-I-S-N, Fantastic Pearl. I have found such good luck with the vases, but I noticed last summer, the first ones that were put outside, I had put a big lava rock on the bottom. And I did start to get algae. I haven't had any all winter, but I did have to take some of them out, and I took out the lava rock, because it was too heavy mainly. And there was some, but one good thing about this is the first ones we did. One good thing about the, a brain fart. One good thing about switching from the lava rock to the cork is the lava rock was very heavy, especially in the bigger vases. Another thing I found is some of the ones I've got more cork on the bottom than for maybe an airspace of a couple inches before I started the bark and cork. And I found those ones seem to really like that because there's a hole in the very bottom of the glass vase and there's some all the way around the bigger ones. So I'm going to show you that too. So this one here, it's been soaking a long time. So what I do is, oh, there it is. Get my vase. I'm not used to having company when I water. But I thought you might like to see. And this is because if you just take your, I know some of you put them in another pot or whatever, but I use my sink. Now, this is one of the first ones I did, and Jack wasn't putting a hole in the bottom. So when I drain them, and there's only 1, 2, 3 holes in this small vase, but when I drain them, what I do is put my hand over the top. Now when I turn part way, the water is running out halfway up. And then I can turn it all the way because it's a small vase. And then it's not bothering it at all that there's not good drainage down here. Now, when I potted this one, it had some moss stuck to the roots on it, and the moss is growing that was left on the roots. But it seems very happy, and I'm just going to quickly come around and show you a close-up of that one. Okay, so can you see here, those roots, they have moss growing on them. And here too, there's a root and moss, and I'm letting it grow because it's not hurting. This side doesn't have any, and I left it on because it was stuck on the roots, and at the time I didn't want to bother them, and they did all come in moss. So that's our first one. It is beautiful too, and I've drained it, so I'm just going to put it over here, and I'm going to get the other one. I want to show these first ones to you as I do them, how they look. So now this one, which smells wonderful, and it's so beautiful. This one was hardy right from the beginning. I changed it out of moss and put it in bark, and if there was a teeny bit of moss stuck in places, I left it. I didn't worry about it, and there was some on this one too. But as you can see, this one has more cork on the bottom. And I think it's a good idea for the air on the very bottom of the pot. And it doesn't have a hole on the bottom because it was one of the first ones we did, and we were putting holes down there. Now I do, and I think I'm preferring it when I do one. So this one too, it has 3 holes and 3 holes, so 6 total. And then I just hold my hand. Of course, where's the hole? There. Oh, this one's all drained good, so I guess I did that. Okay, I'm going to come and show you this one. And it has been happy. It never took any real shock when I put it in. I changed the medium. I put it from moss to bark, and I put cork in the bottom. I had put lava in this one too. I took the big lava rocks out because of the weight, and I went to the cork. I'm very happy with the cork. The thrift store sells used corks for $2 for a Ziploc bag, which I think is cheap, and I'm very happy with it. So I'll come and show you that one. And she is beautiful. Some of them are quite dark, and then as they age, they start real dark, but they're still very beautiful. She has lots of leaves, and is she happy? She has another spike coming right here. Another spike coming. And she's been getting new leaves. She's been happy. Now let's look in the pot. There is the bark, the cork, and then the bark. And there is intermingled in here little pieces of cork, because the bark is so small. It's supposed to be medium. It was getting smaller and smaller, so this is what I did, and it's working out good. And I usually take a cork and put it right in the center of the roots when I'm repotting, if you've seen me do that. So there is nice roots. They've been watered. Yes, they can photosynthesize. So I'll put that one over there. So they take a few minutes. Just don't dump your water and take it out. That won't work. They have to have 5 minutes or so, 10 at the most, but 5 minutes to absorb. Now, she has one little blossom, the first one that was a first one. I'm going to take off because it's wilting. If you leave these on, the gases coming off of them is like ripe fruit that's over-ripening. It only encourages the rest of the flowers to fall off quicker. The same if you've got fruit ripening in your kitchen near your orchids. So I'm going to just put that over there. And it's the same thing. And if there's some roots sticking up, I make sure they get wet. So I give it a few to make sure I'm getting all the areas of the vase. I give it a few. And then I'll let it sit for a while I do another one. So I lined some up over here. I think I'll do this big one, and I got this one. I'm going to take it out of there. And I should show you how this looks before I water, so maybe I'll just put it over here. And we'll do this properly. And that's what I like about the glass too, is you can see if it's still wet or if it's dry. And this is looking quite dry and light colored. Down here, it's even starting to dry down here. You see good roots. This one was just early this year. And I've left it, and it came in bark for some lucky reason. And so I put it in my bark, and it has a new leaf coming right here, and it is still in bloom. And I thought, well, my goodness, do I leave this in full bloom? Like, do I leave these flowers? Let me come on this side. They are so beautiful, and there's so many of them. And I debated on leaving it in full bloom this long. But when I saw the new leaf coming, I thought, okay, it's doing good. Nothing got limp. So then I have to see, what about the roots? Well, they're looking dry, but they're still green. So I'm saying, okay, Carolyn, we're not cutting off that spike. It's been on since I got it. It's getting new leaves. I have good success with my watering schedule. So what I'm going to do is take stand and all. I usually try and put my flowers out this way or this way, so that the other thing I watch for when I'm watering is the only bug I have trouble with, it seems, touch wood, is scale. And you always have to look for it. Always look on your flowers if you see black spots. I've had them. And hunt your plant over really good. I never use anything else other than my watering schedule. I don't, once in a while I might use hydrogen peroxide. Other than that, I don't use anything. I try to just stay natural, and whenever I see a scale, I wipe them off. And on watering day, when I got more time, I just look under all the leaves, because I've usually got them soaking for a while, and I check. Usually the edges of the orchid is a place where they like to be, and sometimes down near where the stem joins, and they can be little round light colored bugs, dark colored bugs, but you have to check. If you see something sticky on your orchid, you can look harder, and I don't see any on this one, but I'm always looking. I look at every plant normally, so I get them a good water, then I let them sit. And if you had about 5 minutes, the thing is, sometimes with the bark, it doesn't wick moisture. So you have to make sure that the water is running all areas of the bark. So then quite often I have my drain rack I ordered from the States. I love shopping in the States. I have family in the States. Jack's brother, sister. I like to order from them, and I got this drain rack. It is so nice because it's on a slant. Water runs off. I can put water here, and it'll just run right back into the sink. Now this one here, I just put in maybe a month ago. I did a video on it. It has a hole in the bottom. The water drains right out. I do like that. It has the cork on the bottom. It's been doing good now. Before I put it in here, it was slow. It seemed to be having trouble, and I had it in a traffic cone, a small one. And so I'm thinking, I have noticed that the photosynthesis, you know, you read so much, yes, they photosynthesize, and if you can't talk a family member to drilling you some holes in one day, if you have one, I picked up all these vases at the thrift store for under $5 each. And I don't care if there's a chip. They have a place outside. If there's a chip, you might pay $2 or $3 because they're chipped. But for what I'm doing, it's okay. So I have just found I like the drain hole, and yes, I think the photosynthesis makes more difference than I realized. And so and the good thing about the glass, they have weight to them. I can put them on a saucer and they still get light all the way down. Where if you have the plastic containers, they still will get reflected light, but they're not as open to the light as usual. So I'm going to take this one, put it here, and I'm going to give it some more water. And now if you're wondering what I do with the gallon jug, well, the gallon jug is because I have my tall traffic cones in Jack's shower. And I keep looking at the thrift store for a big container I could do it, because I could use the water. Granny Franny told me she sticks a traffic cone she made into like a garbage can. So I'm looking for something that actually would be way quicker. Just put it in there rather than trying to get it in the door. We don't have large bathrooms or showers. So those have been pretty good. Now I'm going to show you this one. And it's going to need a saucer. I should grab a saucer. A few saucers when I've gotten. Normally I put them right back in my window. But because I'm doing the video like this, I won't be doing that, and I'm going to have water on the floor probably. So I'll just put that there. And I'm going to come around and show you that one. So there we are, watered now. They've turned a brighter green. These ones, they were always that funny color, but I have lots of new growth down in here. This is new growth. Since it's been just in here a short time, those are already sticking and growing down. And I just like that I can see that. I know how it's doing and how healthy it is. So she's a beautiful flower too. So we'll look at that one. And I'll put a saucer under this one. So, don't want to drop it here showing this. But there's new growth in here, and the green is going quite far back. So I like what I'm seeing. These ones have not been in long, and this one here has a hole right at the bottom. Plus, especially if you've got a bigger vase, I think it's good to have that hole at the bottom. And I'm going to sit that there. And let me just bring this one. This is the walking around I usually get. I set some out. Okay. I just want to show you this. This is the first one I ever put in glass. The leaves have stayed firm. It's been flowering. It just finished a flower spike and I cut it off, and it has another spike coming. This flower spike I had left on last year and it branched. It was a flower spike I had left on and it branched. And I hadn't had my new spike yet. This is the new spike. And it's getting, even though it had a big flower on, lots of flowers on it, it did reflower on it, and there's a very good amount of growth. I already see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buds starting. It has grown so many roots in here. And whenever I see these cone-shaped ones, I like them because quite often if you have trouble with dampness in your pot, it's because the bottom of the pot is wider. In fact, that's why I put my oncidiums in a wider one at the bottom, because they like to be a little moister. And I'm trying that. I'm trying lots of things, but you can tell I like what I'm seeing with these because I'm putting them all in there. Now, there's some I might avoid because they're doing so good how they are, but there's not that many. And I really have found this is good. It's meant works, so, you know, maybe if you don't know anyone that can drill you a hole, you could go to a glass place. And they do all kinds of stuff with glass, and maybe at a cost they would drill you some holes. There. So I'll let that one sit for a bit, and I'll put it up here to drain, because I will be dumping some more water in it. And we're going to do 2 more before I go. So I have one here, and it's doing really good too. I love this one. I don't want to get the flowers wet. They're so pretty. So I'm just going to make sure I dump this really good. So some people say, well, what do you do on watering day? This is what I do. And like I say, you just can't sort of do that once. You do have to give it time to absorb. And with the bark, you want to make sure you have lots of water, because if it doesn't run to all the areas, it will not whip to the other areas. So I've watered that one. It has another 2 buds on it, and I'll wait till you see this flower close. I love this flower. And now I want to show you, and I'll be back to talk later. I want to show you the little dendrobium, because I haven't had this long. It was from early this year, Mother's Day, or I think, and all these were in bloom, and they died off. And then this little one that hadn't been in bloom, it came. So is it happy? I think it is. And wait till you see the roots on these. Because after I show you the close-up of these, I'm just going to turn the camera off while I put some pots away. I'm going to continue my watering, and then I will be back, and anything I've seen I want to show you, I will leave out on the counter and we'll have a talk. So I think that will work good. I have so many orchids. You know, I have this one. It is so beautiful. This is my oldest orchid I almost lost. It is just flowering and flowering and flowering, even late into the growing season. And it is, yes, in a regular orchid pot. I am going to put it in glass. Not right away, but I will be, because the roots start to stick in here on the bottom, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to just water this once more, and I want to show you a close-up of these. And if I put them where I can reach them, it'll be good. So this one here, it has no hole in the bottom, and it's still got some lava rock in the bottom, and it is heavy. So maybe when the blooms are finished, I will take it out and put more bark on, more cork on the bottom, because it just makes them too heavy, and that's just what I found. This one has a hole, so it drained. It's all done. I don't have to do that. And same with this one. So now we're going to look close. Okay. And I'll probably get a towel over here. Just a minute. Just a minute. I always think I'm organized, and then you find out you're not. There. Something's dripping somewhere. There. Okay, let's look at this one. This one is Fang Mai Sweet. But it's the color. I have no other orchid this color. It is like yellow, pale yellow with the red. And it's so pretty. And it has 2 more flowers ready to open. See if I can get that from the back. And so there's a new row gone down it. They love hanging on to the cork. So you can see good growth in here. I always look for the new growth, and you can tell the roots that are doing well. So that one doesn't have a hole, so I'm going to put it there. It won't drain water all over the place. Okay, now look at this. This has only been since Mother's Day, approximately. There's a hole in the bottom, but look at the roots. This has been in the west window, getting a little more sun. Lots of roots. And there they are. So I just have a few, but like I say, I think a smaller vase, you don't have to put so high up with the cork, but with the bigger ones, I think it's important. So I'm going to put that on a saucer. And then, okay, this is the one that convinced me I had to try more glass. And then I tried more, and everything I saw was saying, do it, do more, do more, do more. And I have. So there's the roots. This is just full of roots. One day maybe I'll have to go to a bigger pot for more roots. I don't know. They're not coming out as much. Some of the top ones are coming out, but they seem happy in there. But they are quite crowded. So I'll be back later to talk to you some more. Hi everybody. We've just finished lunch, and I did want to get back and do a little ending to this video. So let's see. These 2 orchids that I have in the front. Now this one here is Fel Mini Mart, and I put her in a little glass vase. She was doing terrible. And since I put her in the vase, she has a little spike coming here, and she's already flowered once. Right in there is a little spike. She's already flowered once. I did do a video with her beautiful flowers. She's got another one coming. And her roots, when I put it in here, they got so happy. You can see them coming down, the new ones. And she did a new leaf. She flowered for the first time ever, and I was so happy. And I wanted to show you this one because I got this little glass, a lantern top or whatever, from the thrift store, cheap. There was no bottom for it. It's supposed to hold a candle in here, like this one, which is my big one that fell, but I'll tell you that one in a minute. And this does stop the water from going onto the floor, and it's a stand for it. But the big orchid I had in here, I'll show you in a minute, it had an accident, and I'll explain that in a sec. So I thought, you know, the little one will sit on here so much nicer, and she does, and she makes a beautiful table centerpiece. So you can look at thrift stores, and yeah, it doesn't need a hole, but if you have small orchids, you can watch for something like this that has a hole in the bottom already. She's going to be in the middle of the table when she flowers, and she's going to be so beautiful. Now, this is the vase that was on that stand, and one day I had an accident over in front of that window. The vase hit the floor. It did not break. It's very thick crystal. Jack had drilled holes all around, and it had a hole in the bottom just like the one I showed you, but because it's taller, he put 3 extra holes halfway up. And it was also for a candle. So this orchid, when I got it, it had all these splits in the leaves. Every leaf had these splits. And then there's this one too. And this one, it wasn't split, and of course, when it hit the floor, this hit the floor with the weight of the vase on it, and it got damaged. And it also got damaged here, but it was already a little limpy. It just looked a little worse. But I have hope for it because it's in a glass vase, and it has a nice new leaf coming. And I'm going to hope I don't get splits, because I'm not. Quite often you get splits like that. Sometimes it's in their history, their breeding, that they do get that. But sometimes it's uneven watering. And so I'm hoping, because her roots, she hasn't been in here long, and they're starting to show little bright green in there. It's hard to see. So because of the new leaf, and I really feel she's going to perk up, and I just put her on an ashtray instead of taller on that little stand. But you never know what you're going to find at the thrift store and what you can look for. That's that one. Now this one had a beautiful flower all winter, and it was trimmed off, and I have it here. All the leaves are beautiful, and it's been in this a little longer, and it does not have a hole on the bottom because it narrows so much like that. But as you can see, whoops, you can't see, it has a hole fairly low. And so I can just tip it and the water comes out of there. And it actually has lots of holes. It is also crystal. It was chipped, but it was a good buy. So there's 3 holes there and another 3 here. And so it's got lots of holes. It's in the bark, and it's got cork right to the bottom, but it does not have that thick layer of cork. I'd like to put more, but I'm not going to take it out because it's so happy. So I think maybe that's half of my orchids that are in glass you've seen today. And I think it started the oncidiums. This is the last oncidium I potted in a vase that I got from Rosemary. Just she had looked after it because we had colds, and she had broke her wrist, and we had mum, and so many things happened. So it was the last oncidium I potted when it was new, so it was only a couple months ago. And it's all ready. I did put it right in glass. It's got a nice new sprout coming right there. And it seems to be doing really good. And as far as roots go, it's hard to see new ones, but they are taking off. They are happy. So, and the other oncidium that I'm just moved from a small vase to a bigger vase, this one, it is also doing really good. Now I just did this, so it's going to be a while before we see a lot of roots, but there's a nice new growth there, and over here another nice tall growth right there, and a little one coming down here. So they seem to be happy in the glass. They're in a west window, and I have a little one too, with a hole in the bottom of this and only 3 holes halfway up. I tried the clay balls in the bottom of this small one, and I went halfway up, but the roots are growing really well. You can see them coming down. They're doing good, and it has a nice tall new growth right here. So they're doing pretty good, and I'm hoping that sharing this with you might make you want to find a glass vase, find a neighbor to drill you a hole, bribe them with cookies or dessert or anything. And if not, maybe a glass place. But, or even if it's a little orchid and you find a vase with a hole in the bottom. So those are all good things. And I am sticking by keeping them, or I wouldn't be putting so many in the glass. But it all started with the one orchid that was in the vase for a year before I started changing them. And what I've learned along the way for my area, what is working. So they'll all be going outside, but when you put them outside, they still get light, but not direct on the hot glass because the roots could burn. You don't want them too close to a window. You might have been fine in the window, but this west window will soon be way too hot. So anyway, I want to end with a funny story. So I'm going to sit down. I've been running around all day. So anyway, I've been growing up on farms a long time, not as a kid growing up, but ever since I left home at 19. I'm used to having animals, and I've had almost all the animals and milk cows, and I am used to the problem with rats. And we never used to have rats in Salmon Arm, only the last few years. We had mice, but not rats. But now we got rats, and I'm not going to go how that happened. I don't know how that happened. But anyway, if there's a food source, they will go. And if you take away the food source, you will likely leave them. But we had a neighbor that takes big sacks of seed out and dumps it in the driveway for 2 years, winter, spring, summer, fall. And he feeds all the birds, the ducks, the pheasants, anything that'll come and eat. And he also feeds the rats. Of course, the rats are going to go over there because there's food. And anyway, the rat situation had got worse, and so I can't set traps out in my yard because I don't want to catch birds. I don't want to catch Maggie or somebody's cat or anything like that. So the only place I can really put a trap, and I don't want to use poison because of the same reasons. So in the gazebo, which the door is always locked, I have 2 big rat traps. And just after winter, I caught a couple big ones. And things went on, and I hadn't got it anymore. I thought I'd got rid of them, and then all of a sudden, I started getting little ones, lots of them. And the thing killed them right away. And I got used to this. I put on my rubber gloves and, go like this and out to the garbage can where we have to put that stuff, and I deal with it. But the other day, I went out there, and they're all baby ones. I haven't caught any more big ones. And there's 2 baby rats. One's right in the trap. He's dead. One is standing there looking at me with one back leg in the trap. And oh God, that bothered me so much. I've never had that happen. How it happened, I don't know. But anyway, I felt so bad. It bothered me. And I didn't want to kill him. I mean, the trap is one thing, but actually doing it myself, no, not going to happen. So I told Jack, I came in the house and I told Jack, and I explained the whole story, and I said, and he's so cute. I mean, he's a rat, but he was cute. And he's looking up at me with these big eyes and his little nose and his, oh, and I felt so terrible. And I came in the house and I said to Jack, I don't know what to do. I can't kill it, and it's in a trap. And I don't, it's not crying, but it's stuck in there. And so I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I thought, well, maybe I'm thinking I'll let it loose. But I didn't go out and do it. And then later in the day, I go look, and it's not there. The trap is closed. He's gone. And I went in the house and I told Jack, and he never said anything right away. But later in the evening, he says, I can't keep it a secret any longer. But I went out and I let him loose. I looked in the trap. There was no piece of a foot or a leg or nothing. And Jack said he seemed fine and he went running away. So, I mean, okay, he's loose. I don't think he'll come back here to eat again after that. And I hope that's the last of them. But I was going to let him loose too, and he let him loose. So that's what happened, and that's our little story for today. Okay, have a fun day and a good sleep, whatever is happening in your area. And thank you very much for all the thumbs up and helping this channel survive. Even though some days I have to be sorry that I can't get my videos up quick enough. But I am still here and working on it. Bye for now.